Food for thought, matière à réflexion. A life without obstacles is not worth living because one tends to have a lackadaisical attitude that stymies any possibility of growth and maturity. Many times, we tend to complain and even get discouraged when we face the inevitable obstacles of life. We failed, however, to realize that these are the tests that one must pass toward the fulfillment of one's destiny. There is no easy path to success. There is a price to pay for anything of value. Once you visualize the goals that you set for yourself, the burden of going through the process becomes light. Every obstacle that you encounter gives you more enthusiasm to continue toward the mark that you fix for yourself, the mark that you set for yourself, the mark that you visualize to reach. In other words, the end game. The obstacles are like fuel that will propel you to the right trajectory. Without that, you tend to lose steam. You become disengaged. You complain without ceasing about the unfairness of life. Oh, life is this, life is the good, life is this, life is terrible, life. In other words, you are blaming life for everything. Every bad thing that happened to you, you are blaming life. But life has nothing to do with it. You tend to lose yourself in the process. In other words, when you keep blaming life, but you are life. You are the one that actually has to make life, has to shape life. So you cannot blame life. Life is amorph. It's invisible. You make life what it is. So therefore, stop blaming life. Okay? So you are in charge. You are in control. You are the real deal. Okay? You tend to lose yourself in the process. Blaming life all the time, you lose yourself. Okay? And finally, you abandon the race to meet your destiny. And when you keep blaming life, you keep blaming everything else except yourself, then you will abandon the race toward the big meeting with your destiny. You see? So you cannot constantly blaming others, blaming life, blaming anything. But you have to start looking at yourself. You have to start having an introspective look at yourself. Know thyself, as the wise man said once, Confucius. Okay? So therefore, avoid obstacles all the time. By remaining inactive is not a worthy way to live. Essayez éviter. You're trying to avoid obstacles all the time. It's not the right way to live a life, to live your life. A life without growth and maturity concedes also the opportunity to change the world for the better. So when you live your life and there is no growth, in other words, you avoid all the obstacles all the time. And then if you avoid all the obstacles all the time, there is no way for you to show triumph. There is no way for you to show glory. There is no way for you to show victory over anything because you have not done anything. You just try to stay away from everything. So if you stay away from everything, you never engage into doing anything, then you are going to live a life insipid, a life without taste, without flavor, without savor. That's no good. Okay? So a life without growth and maturity concedes also the opportunity to change the world for the better. In other words, you miss your calling. You let the music dies in you. You see? So you don't want that. You want to make sure that you play your part. So thus, at the end of life, you will have no story to tell. Because if you keep avoiding everything, you keep blaming everything, so at the end of life, you will have no story to tell. You remain a simple mortal. In other words, you are going to be a simpleton, a simple mortal, with nothing to show for the life that you've been living on earth. You see? You remain a simple mortal because you did not dare to move out of your comfort zone. You see? So you stay right in your little comfort zone. You didn't go any other way. You didn't go any place. You just stay right there playing safe. You cannot play it safe all the time. Sometimes you have to venture out. You have to brave the element. That's the way it is. That's part of life. That's what life is about. You see, to create anything of significance to mankind that would guide you to embrace your own immortality. You see, in order for you to become immortal, you have to do something unusual, something that most people do not even want to do. Most common men do not want to do. And then you have to start forgetting yourself. In other words, you have to transcend time and space. Do something extraordinary. And then you will see that you will no longer a mortal man, but you will be an immortal soul. You will be in the minds of man for a long, long, long time, or even for centuries and centuries. Like we can talk about many great thinkers, like Pascal, Voltaire, Rousseau, Montesquieu, Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, Madison, Washington. You can talk about these people all the time because they are immortal. They are immortal in the minds of man. So now start questioning yourself to see what have you done to create, to carve your immortality, to shape your immortality. So you have to start doing things. If you are sleeping, it's time to wake up. Sleeping doesn't mean that you are in your bed. No, sleeping in terms of the way you think, your mental acumen, the way you are thinking, the way you are looking at life. That's what we mean. All right. So therefore, it's time to stand up and wake up and make things happen. Because, as we said earlier, a life without obstacles is not worth living, because one tends to have a lackadaisical attitude that stymies any possibility of growth and maturity. You need to grow. You want to grow. You want to mature, and you want to become the immortal man that you are created to be. God bless you.